Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I am here today with a different kind of September stash smash. I know it's been a few days, it's been a little while since I made a video. So what I'm smashing today, okay, is this great big stack of like gray, sort of heavyweight paper. And I went foraging today for mushrooms and flowers, and so I thought I will make boiled books. So that's what I'm working on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm just kind of getting my plants together here and making stuff, and I am so sleepy today, so I apologize if you hear me yawning, if you hear me kind of, dipsy. See, now I'm yawning. I'm so sorry. Now that I said that, I'm yawning. I am just sleepy. I need to take a break. I've been so busy after getting back from camping. We had a costumed event last night. I took my daughter to this event called Enchanta that was put on by in a nearby city called Fergus, Ontario, and it's the Toronto Symphony Orchestra was there, and it's this sort of fairy and fae folk type festival in the woods. Basically, there are vendors, there's food, there's all sorts of things like, a wishing tree, or wishing well, and just all things fae and wonderful. And we had a wonderful time, but as with all things that I do, I had to hustle to get things done because I made the costumes, and so I had to get myself going. My daughter was a fawn fairy, and I was an Amanita sprite, and we had a lot of fun with face paint and all sorts of things, and it was really lovely. I think the hardest part of it all was I had paper mache'd these large antlers for my daughter to wear on her head, and the plan, I couldn't really put the plan in practice until we got there because they were too tall to fit in the car. And so I'd kind of done a pre-run of things before we left the house, and it wasn't working so well. They weren't staying up. So I just packed a whole bunch of hair elastics and things that I figured I would hide in her hair, and just wind her hair up. And it went much better when I did it there, and I was like, okay, let's just be calm and not get anxiety here. And it was all good. It all came together beautifully. We had a lot of nice people comment on our costumes, and honestly, it was just lovely, lovely people. We had a really nice time, and there was this really fun band that played at the end of the night called the Flamingos, and they call themselves Canada's best party band, jokingly kind of, but they were really fun. They were doing cover songs and stuff, and yeah, we had a great time listening to them. This is not long enough. It can only go one way. I usually use one long piece, but I also decided as part of this stash smash, I'm going to use this stack of embroidery floss bits that I've had hanging around for a while. And they're not long enough to do signatures with, so I thought I might as well try to use them up in a different way. So we'll do that. I think it came from a thrifted kind of kit, of embroidery. And I like to tie my bundles 2 ways. I usually do a present style, where you crisscross the ribbon underneath the bottom of the present, but we're gonna have to use 2 strings here. I also have a piece of horsehair. This is horsehair hanging around because this stuff was I was in my raku pottery supplies. And for those of you who don't know, there's this beautiful kind of raku pottery that you do where you take your bisqued raku pottery. So if you're doing outdoor raku pottery, you can take horsehair and you just, while it's very hot on the bisqued clay, you touch horsehair to it, and it burns the whole impression of the horsehair. It's a lovely, lovely kind of pottery. I haven't done it in a while. I keep meaning to fire up my raku kiln, but I have no time. I'm starting to realize, like, I took this past week off and it was fun. But, excuse me, it was not restful because camping is not restful with children. It's, you know, it's a hullabaloo of things. You gotta be on your toes, right? But I had so much fun. I guess it's that whole I'll sleep when I'm dead theory. I don't know. After this, though, I think I am going to, like, plan to maybe just read and take a nap or something. I don't know. We'll see. I never nap. I'm not a napper. I get, like, my brain gets busy when I try to nap. Let's put these little sprinklies here, and then maybe, depending on how thick this one is, we'll try to, these often don't go right because they pop holes in the paper. So I think what I'll do is I'll just cut the back off so it's not so chunkos, and that will help. So yeah, we might get that sort of starry shape there. Okay. So yeah, I went foraging this morning with my family and went to the typical place that I get flowers, which is the compost of the graveyard, where I have permission to do so. Before you get me in trouble, don't worry, I have permission to take the dead flowers that they remove and the garden stuff they put in there. So we also found a huge chicken of the woods mushroom. So my husband is upstairs processing that now. And we found some maitake around the oaks. So in your area, if it's like, you know, if you're in that fall area of where you live, if it's fall, the mushrooms are out there. Good, good. Oops, let's pop you in there too, little pink. Okay. Yeah, so this is like a random stack of paper that I thrifted a long while ago, and it doesn't have a home. It's been sort of sitting in a stack, so I thought, you know, this is a great thing to use up because, yeah. Oops. Sorry about that little spider. Put you here in my jar and I'll take you outside after. It's one thing I do whenever I'm, you know, processing plants from outside that I've just collected. I keep a little jar with a little lid nearby, so if I find any friends, they can go in the jar and then I'll take them out when I'm done my work so that they don't stay in my house. But yeah, my husband and I are going to be like working to make magic mushroom powder. It's not what you think if you're thinking it's hallucinogenic. It's not. It's actually a recipe from, oh, what is her name? She's like a keto chef, and I can't remember. But if you look up the recipe for magic mushroom powder, it's like 2 words that start with an M, I think. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. I forget her name. Yeah, I think she does keto-friendly kind of recipes. So anyways, what is it? It is this, you freeze, or not freeze dry, you dehydrate your mushrooms. You can use mushrooms that you purchase in the grocery store that are already dried, or, you know, foraged mushrooms or whatever kind of mushrooms. We like to use maitake for this, but doesn't matter as long as it's a flavorful mushroom. And you just dehydrate them and mix them with some herbs, some salt and pepper, and chili flake, and you're basically making your own very umami, you know, deeply savory kind of like seasoning salt, sort of. and we love it. It's good on anything. It's good on roasted like vegetables. It's good on potatoes. You know, it's good on meats of any kind. It's just good. Yeah, so that's our plan, to make magic mushroom powder. And I also need to get into my garden and harvest things, because it's been I've been kind of ignoring my garden a little bit, and I know there's a ton of tomatoes out there. My husband picked some of the yellow ones yesterday, and I know there's like black tomatoes, there's all sorts of stuff. Look at these little beautiful hydrangeas. Aren't they amazing? Look at the color. So complicated, right? The complexity of the color of these. I don't know why they were in the bin, but they were in there. I think maybe they were pruning. Like, they've got really huge hydrangea bushes in lots of the gardens at the graveyard, so they're probably just pruning, or maybe they, you know, the stem got broken or something. I don't know, but I was happy to find those. I mean, I can obviously find them in the wild anywhere, but I grab what I can when I can get stuff right out of the compost all together like that. I don't even think I've done hydrangea before in a boiled book, so we'll see what happens. Okay, that one's probably good to tie now. Doing big stacks. I usually do like, I think 5 pages, but I'm going to try to do like 10 because I need to make a good amount of paper. Okay. Met so many nice people at the Enchanta last night. Oh, it was fun. I would definitely go again, and I would highly recommend Enchanta if you are in Ontario, or if they have a similar thing near where you live, like you can go into the Enchanted Woods. There were just, it was, the entrance was so lovely. It was like you walked through this large wooden kind of walkway that they had made this big stone sign that said Enchanta, and then as you walked through this wooden walkway, it was like walls that were painted to look like stone, and throughout them there were all these little fairy doors that you could open, and inside each fairy door there was, like, you know, you open the door and there was some kind of like little box diorama going on inside. It was just so fun. Just so imaginative and awesome. Let's cut that in half. These poor things never even got to bloom. I think sometimes, you know, these kind of things, they get put into funeral flowers, and then they just aren't designed to kind of continue to live and bloom once they're separated from their kind of mother plant. They get cut, thrown in water, or thrown in an arrangement, and they can't progress anymore. Okay. So I just wanted to say thank you to those of you who checked on me during my time away, where you were like, hey, where are you? That's very sweet of you. Thank you. Sorry I didn't make any kind of an announcement. I was fluttering away to go camping. I kind of made the decision a little sporadically because I just felt a bit overwhelmed. I was just like, everything was too much for a little bit, like work and the news and people online and just stuff. I just needed a rest from it all. So I went to the lovely shores of Lake Huron, and that was very nice. But I'm totally like dreading going back to work tomorrow. I think it's going to be so busy because I saw so many things coming through to me, and my, I have a woman who kind of, she looks after things like that I manage. Her job is to kind of make sure that they happen, that they get delivered, whatever I'm asking for. And she was so busy because I wasn't there, and I don't really have a backup, because I kind of singularly work on this thing that nobody else is working on. And so, and it's also a very kind of critical thing. It's attached to like pretty much everything in my company. So it's kind of an important role. And she is absolutely like my right hand. She's the coolest and the best, and she's really good at what she does. But she was very busy because there were so many people like sending her messages like, I know Cindy's away, but like, and I thought to myself, like, I would say none of what I witnessed at least is urgent. And I'm just like, oh, come on, guys, I'll be back in a week. Like, do you really need to bug her? But she's very good at kind of managing what she will prioritize and not. So I don't worry too much, other than to feel like sad that people get burdened when I'm away. I hate that. I know what it feels like when you're, you know, you're so busy doing your job, and then one of your colleagues is gone or your boss is gone, and it's like you've got to take care of their stuff. And I find I tend to prioritize that kind of thing when someone else is away, because I feel like I'm responsible like for their work. You know, I don't want to like gum up what they're doing. I'll manage my own stuff, but like I really want to take care of what they're doing, because then it's not so hard when they come back, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, these colors are amazing. I think I'm going to keep a little chunk of this to do like trapped, some trapped cards with, because the cool thing with hydrangea, it actually dries and sort of stays as it was. It keeps its color. Okay, I think we can. Oops, who are you? What are you? You are a gnat. You can be gone. I'm sorry. Sorry for those of you who are worried about the lives of gnats, but I am not going to try to catch that gnat. That would not have worked. There's a billion more where he came from. It's funny, when I was camping, you know, all the birds are different in that area to where I live. So I had the Merlin app on my phone, and I was kind of listening for different kinds of birds that, you know, were hanging around. And my kids were feeding the red squirrels and the chipmunks some peanuts, and the blue jays were coming around and having their serving of peanuts, because they love peanuts, blue jays. They're crazy about them. And there were these little birds just chirping around, and they were all up above my head, and they were so cute. And I didn't know what they were though, but they turned out to be gray-blue gnat catchers. I had never heard of them before, and they're so cute, and they have such a little social behavior where they hang out all in these little groups, and they're just kind of making these tiny little beep 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 sounds, kind of like, you know, the chickadees, how they do their little chickadee sounds. They're sort of similar, but it's more of a squeak. It's very cute. So I was happy to see them. And then we saw some warblers, different kinds of warblers. Also some different sparrows that I don't get in my area. A white-throated sparrow. We saw mergansers, those cool ducks. I don't see them in my area so much. I see them mostly when I go to places like Quebec, but they're also up that way. Okay. Another thing to just be mindful for when you're collecting plants outside in this new world is ticks. Watch for ticks. I've never encountered one in my plants before, but you know, it's never You always want to be safe. Better safe than sorry, so just keep your eyes peeled when you're taking plants apart. And I mean, you may want to choose to do this not like on your work desk. You might want to do it in a box, or you might want to do it outdoors. I find, honestly, I don't feel it that hard to identify like a bug, you know, something is moving. You know it's there. Because there's not a whole lot else going on my desk other than just me paying attention to my plants here. Some leaves. But I was just watching the new Netflix Wednesday series. I've been wanting to watch season 2, and I just started watching it, and it's very fun and spooky. It's everything that I want to be watching right now. I quite like Jenna Ortega. She's really quite a brilliant actress. I wish I knew the girl's name who played Enid. I'm so bad with supporting actresses, or like, I mean, she's probably much more than a supporting actress. I think she's been in other films, but she's lovely, and I need to learn her name. It's terrible. I really love the girl who plays Enid. She's so cute. So my daughter, I asked her, I've been asking my kids what they want to be for Halloween, and my daughter was saying, like, you know, I want to be, you know, the fawn fairy that I was last night. And I thought, like, okay, well, that's kind of cool because I already have the whole costume sorted out. But I'm also a little sad. I'm like, but we, you know, I want to do like a new costume. So I don't know. We'll see what she decides on. But it would certainly save me lots of work. I don't know why I'm so, like, unhappy about not having to build another costume. Oh. I think she's starting, though, to appreciate the beauty of, like, well, I shouldn't say starting, but I think she's going into another level of understanding the beauty of handmade things and the magic of artists. Because, you know, last night as you know, we wandered around, people kept complimenting her costume, and she's so cute because, like, she had said to me as I was making, like, my headpiece. If you're on Patreon, I did a video on making my headpiece for the event. You know, she's like, wow, Mom, I can't believe you made that. Like, how did you do that? That's so cool. Like, wow, you're so talented. I didn't know you could do that. Like, she had so many sweet things to say to me. It was really quite beautiful. And, you know, I just said to her, it's like, it's just literally like you learn and you focus on something, you know, that you want to learn about, and you learn about it. And then, like, you know, you can make really cool things that are very unique that you don't see anywhere else because they're made with your hands. You know, it's something I think she obviously knows, but to see something come out as well as our costumes did in her mind, like, I think it was a little mind-boggling. And so people were complimenting her, and she was just like, every time she's like, oh, well, don't go, it's not me, it's my mom. My mom made all of this. My mom did, like, she's like, it was like, I'm already super bad at taking compliments to begin with. I get very anxious, and she's just like, oh my goodness. So I said to her, I'm like, it's okay, honey, you could just say thank you. You don't have to tell them. Like, and she's like, Mom, you should be recognized. I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody help me. But it was very sweet. And I like that she's seeing the power of, like, you know, how you can really stand out when you do something yourself, you know. So, and I know she's a little, she's got a little artsy, she's a little artsy mind. All right, let's see if we can cut this rose off of its chunky base here. Come on. These roses are so pretty. I'd say they still had some time in them. They, like, I don't know. It's partly because I think when they mow the lawn at the graveyard, like, if anything's overhanging, they tend to get it out of there, like, so they can go around with the mower and not, like, chop up these kind of flower things. And, like, the wind also knocks a lot of the big florals off. I just wish that they would go to all natural florals in all the cemeteries, like some, because the plastic ones are the worst. I swear I spend like whenever I go and I pick up flowers this way, you know, or I mean, I walk in graveyards a lot. I spend so much time picking up trash. I always bring a trash bag because there's just so much, like, mostly fake flower trash everywhere. And some cemeteries have stopped, like, you're not allowed to have them there anymore because of just the plastic garbage everywhere. But some still allow them, but like, they don't do well. They don't last long, and they don't do very well. So I think natural flowers are the way to go. Because like even when they die, they still look pretty. Like I was looking at some beautiful brown-eyed Susans that had all, you know, withered away, but the black tops were there on this one gravestone. I was like, oh, that looks so pretty. Like very gothic feeling. Something I don't normally grab. It's this kind of goldenrod, but I wanted to give it a try. Just put a couple of rose petals, very withered rose petals. Okay. Get rid of that. It's just like seeds. Maybe look at the color of this rose. Isn't that beautiful? Just gorgeous. Let me take a picture of that. Maybe it can be the thumbnail. Who knows? Okay. Alright, that stack's probably good to go. It's got one of the chunkier flowers in there. I am still kind of like getting over this little cold thing. It's not like so bad. It's not making me feel bad, really. I feel like I need a little rest from my vacation, but I don't have one. There's also like more fall fairs going on this weekend, but I was just like, I can't. So much fun stuff to do in the fall, but like I tend to push myself. So I'm working with my other scouting friends to kind of organize what we call Apple Day, which is where we sell apples to raise money for our scouting program. And so we usually try to buy apples from a local orchard, because they'll usually give us like a wholesale price if we buy a few bushels for the purpose of selling them. So this year, because it was such a hot hot dry year, they're at a 25% ratio of apples from normal years, meaning they only produced 25% of what they normally do. Oh, let's get this mushroom out of here. This is a little bit of the chicken of the woods, because it was in a box beside my flowers there. So yeah, it goes to show you, you know, the impact global warming and droughts and things have on our food production. Something we all need to be mindful about, right? Because it's very scary to think about having like less available, you know, food crops. Because the demand for food doesn't go down a whole lot, but the production goes down. I'm going to try cutting all these bits off and just keeping this time. These little bits are good also if you make your own paper. Keep them. And I'm just going to grab a few random petals to throw in here. Oops, not mushroom. Be one of these. These just add like nice color. Roses make beautiful purpley gray tones. Put that rose down. Colors are so pretty. Leaf. Okay. I'll probably do another video revealing what we're up to here. Carnation. I don't know if I should keep that whole or maybe spread these around because they're, yeah, maybe we'll spread some around. That's good. And then we'll keep that one whole. I saw, I went to the grocery store today because I had to get stuff to make dinner tonight, and they were selling bouquets of, like, you know, stuff outside, and like, oh man, it was all Phragmite, and I was so stressed to see it. So if you're unaware, there is an invasive plant that is really highly impacting our wetlands here in Ontario, and it is called Phragmite. So for a lot of people who work in like flower arranging or event management, etc., you know, they like them like they like the pampas grass, which also is a terrible thing that's invasive and also poisonous. But you know, they love this like this willowy look to it, right? So they put it in all of these things, not knowing what they're doing. So the problem with Phragmite is that it's extremely invasive and it seeds like crazy. So it has these really long, brown, like filial kind of, you know, blossomy looking tops, and it grows usually alongside cattails and bulrushes, which unfortunately it also chokes out completely. And yeah, don't buy them. Look them up, Phragmite with a PH, because they're devastating wetlands, and they're not meant for North America and like natural environments. All right, let's cut those down a bit because they're chunkies, but I want to keep the structure intact. These marigolds. Okay. Another marigold. Oof, I hate the smell of marigolds, but I love the color, and what they produce is beautiful. It's like a lot of flowers that I don't like the smells of, like geraniums, just I guess flowers that aren't meant to be like scented flowers. Oh, there's more of this. That's really blue. I'm going to keep that one too for creating with. This is pretty. Not exactly. What kind of flower are you? I don't know exactly. let's check. I always want to say these look like dahlias, but I don't think they are. Let's take a picture and we can check Google Lens and see what it says. Well, that wasn't that helpful, actually. It's saying dahlias, but I don't know, are they dahlias or chrysanthemums? We'll try another picture. This is why I don't really like to use Google Lens to identify things. Yeah, it keeps bringing up like all these artificial flowers. I don't know if it's gladiolus, maybe. Or it's not an aster, I don't think. There's so many flowers that look like this where I'm just like, what are you? It might be an aster, I don't know. But it's lovely. It's got that yellow in the middle. I don't know if I should use the whole thing. I might just do that. It's not too thick, and I can just give it a good press. And I'll put like a few rose petals in there with it. Yeah, that's not too bad. I think we can tie this bundle though, because it's getting thick. And then I think I will make this the last of these bundles, and then I'll finish my work here. But we have used up a good amount of paper from this stack with no home, so that's good. It'll help me to organize my little... I've got this stack of things that are beside my cabinet on the floor that are like papers and a few like ledger books and other things that sort of don't have a home. So this is going to take a nice big chunk out of that. I mean, it's all stuff that like, it doesn't stress me. It's neatly organized, but like it needs to get used up, I think. I got it because I wanted to use it and make it, you know, functioning in my studio. So... okay, well that's 5 bundles of flowers for my boiled book. I hope you're well, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye for now.